Forza Horizon 5 is a great game, but it's not perfect. Well, in today's video, we're gonna try and get a little bit closer to perfection. We're gonna take things and features that are already in the game and twist them a little bit and make small, maybe even realistic changes to them to make those things and features a little bit more fun. And I want you guys to join in with me on this. Leave a comment down below with one thing you would like to see changed in Forza Horizon 5, but it has to be realistic. You can't just say, I want 20 wide bodies for every single car in the game, because that's not gonna happen. Let's jump into some of the things on my list. Number 1, monthly rivals. You know how when you jump into the festival playlist and you're trying to unlock a new car, you're trying to earn festival playlist points. And one of the best ways of doing that is going in and completing the monthly rivals challenge. Well, I should really call it a challenge, because it's not really a challenge. Literally, the only thing you need to do to pass the challenge is complete a lap without hitting a wall. Okay, that might be a challenge for some of us, but for most players, not really very difficult. Let's be honest, anytime you're doing one of these monthly rivals challenges, they're a little bit boring because you just literally need to sit there and drive whatever car they give you, and you can literally take a week to go and complete the challenge and you'll still pass. But what if we could change things? What if instead of setting a lap time in the monthly rivals, what if you had to beat a lap time in the monthly rivals? I'm not even talking about making the challenge super difficult so only a couple of players could complete it, but maybe if a below average skill player needed like 2 or 3 attempts to do it, I think that'd be a good thing for a couple of different reasons. Number 1, you're inevitably going to make those players who struggle with these challenges just better at the game because they're going to be getting more practice. And number 2, it's also just going to be a little bit more fun because you actually have a goal. Instead of just sitting there and driving around at your own pace, you've actually got to go out there and work for something, which I think is always a good thing. I think you can see what I mean, though. We're taking something that's already in the game, giving it a little bit of a twist, and in the end, you get something a little bit more fun. Let's jump into number 2, PR Stunts. Let's be honest, it's just straight up too easy to earn 3 stars on PR Stunts in Forza Horizon 5. I have a whole series of videos where I go in and pretty much complete all the trailblazers in the game using a stock D-class car, and I get 3 stars on these PR Stunts, and that's just too easy. I'm not talking about making the PR Stunts harder, though. I'm talking about adding in a 4th star, a potential platinum challenge. Say, for example, you go in and 3-star a speed trap for the very first time. After you've done that, you get the ability to earn that platinum challenge by going in and completing one more challenge with that PR stunt. However, in my imagination, to complete that platinum challenge, you're gonna need to bring out a very specialized vehicle or some top tier driving skill. Say, for example, you're doing like an off-road speed zone. You're gonna want a car that's super lightweight, all-wheel drive, maybe has a bunch of aero, stuff like that, something highly tuned and modified. Or if you're going for a highway speed trap, for example, you might want a car with super low drag and high horsepower, but you're gonna need to upgrade a car to complete that platinum challenge. And again, by doing that, you're achieving a bunch of different things. Number 1, you're teaching players who might be new to the game how to tune, upgrade cars, and again, be better at the game. And number 2, you're also catering to that hardcore market who feels kind of neglected at the moment by offering those players a challenge where they can show off their skills. And I think a 4th star or a platinum challenge would be a really fun way to do it. And I'm just gonna say this quickly, but if you wanted to make it even more spicy, you could actually call these platinum challenges a kudos challenge. I'm not going to explain that, but if you understand that reference, congratulations, we're friends now. On the topic of PR Stunts, I briefly want to talk about drift zones. Throughout the lifespan of Forza Horizon 5, we've seen the developers add new PR stunts for speed traps and speed zones, but we've never seen them add any new drift zones, and that's kind of disappointing. I know a lot of drifters in the community felt kind of pushed to the side and forgotten about. Adding in some new drift zones into the game on a twisty bit of road, even if it's just for one season, would make drifters very happy. Let's move things on to the Forzathon Shop, or as I like to call it recently, the Forzathon Flop, because recently all of the additions in there have been kind of disappointing. Obviously, I don't have all the stats on hand that the developers do to see like how many Forzathon points players are sitting on, how often players are buying things from the Forzathon shop, and all sorts of stuff like that. But what I can say is speaking from my experience. I think it would be really cool if the developers added in a brand new car into the Forzathon shop, but left that car there all month. But the twist is that car costs 3,000 Forzathon shop points. We're gonna do some math. Every single week, you can get 500 Forzathon points by completing the Forzathon challenge. So after 4 weeks, you would have 2,000, but you can actually earn more points by completing Forzathon arcade event. That's probably a feature that you forgot for the simple fact that there's no real reason to play them, which is kind of disappointing because they're actually pretty fun. But what would happen by tossing a new car into the Forzathon shop? Players who already have the points would be able to go buy it on day one, and players who don't have the points would go in, play through the Forzathon challenges, experience that part of the game, and then jump into Forzathon arcade events and experience that part of the game and might find something that they enjoy. Again, you're kind of just encouraging players to check out other areas of the game that they might not have already. Anyways, for this next thing, I want to move away from driving briefly. Let's go back to PR stunts and specifically leaderboards. When I'm talking about this, I'm actually talking about PR stunts and rivals, so keep that in mind as I'm talking about this. But what if you broke down leaderboards further than they have been for Forza Horizon 5? Say, for example, you're a fan of running the Horizon Mexico circuit in A-Class. If you wanted to be successful, you had to either drive something all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive, depending on what you're going for. But what if you wanted to drive a front-wheel drive car and figure out what the fastest front-wheel drive A-Class car is in FH5? I honestly have no idea. And I think it would be a lot of fun if every single leaderboard was broken down into drivetrains so you could see front wheel drive, all wheel drive, and rear wheel drive. I guarantee you would find people who were super good at driving front wheel drive cars. It would give things like TCR cars an actual chance on some of the leaderboards, for example. And one of my personal favorite things to do all the way back in Forza Motorsport 4 was drive front-wheel drive drift cars and experience those. If you've never tried it, by the way, they're super weird to drive, but super fun because you're just chucking it around the whole time. And if you tried to do that in FH5, you would never beat the score of an all-wheel drive or a rear-wheel drive car. But if you had a front-wheel drive drift leaderboard for every single PR stunt in the game, that'd be so cool to see that breakdown. And again, at the end of the day, if something like this was ever implemented, you're just kind of encouraging players to experience more types of vehicles, which I think at the end of the day is always a good thing. The next thing on my list is the Creative Hub, an area of the game that has gotten pretty much no love since Forza Horizon 3? 2? It's been a while. Searching up players' designs and tunes kind of works okay, but blueprints is where this feature just lacks a lot of depth. And I think the developers might be doing something with it. They've actually already teased in the next monthly update there's going to be something in there for event lab builders, and it might pertain to the way you actually search for event labs. So this one might actually be happening. Long story short, though, what I'm asking for is basically a hub so you could easily find event lab maps that you might want to try. Event lab creators could tag their maps with tags like daytime, nighttime, photo location, drift map, hill climb, race course, and so on. And then players could search with those tags and then even give the map a rating out of 5, for example. And you could see what maps are highly rated, if players like them and stuff like that. And again, use those tags to find maps that you might enjoy. And at the same time, maybe including a photo of the map would be really nice as well. Again, the developers might be working on something like this. We'll have to see. Last but not least, the final thing on my list, I already know this is going to be controversial, but I want to talk about car packs. Car packs are becoming more common with Forza Horizon 5. We've seen 2 of them now, most recently with the Italian exotic car pack that just came out and was awesome. But what if instead of buying content, what if you bought an experience? Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with the cars getting added into your garage completely for free. That's great, but a little boring. What if you had to go in and when you bought the car pack, you got access to a special Horizon story for the Italian exotic car pack and some of the characters in the game? could tell you cringy lines about the Lamborghini Exima and stuff like that. And then every mission that you completed, you unlocked the car that you were using. I think that would be a little bit more fun than just having the cars added to your garage. I think buying an experience is significantly more fun than just buying content, but I might be alone on that one. So those are my things. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Okay, bye.